It's pretty hard to believe, but fans once chanted "Die Rocky Die" at the man who would become beloved movie star Dwayne Johnson. Some of his fellow superstars feel the same way, or at least did at one time or another. After 2 years and one failed attempt, Cody Rhodes finally finished his story at WrestleMania 40 by defeating Roman Reigns for the undisputed WWE Championship. But it almost didn't happen. Fans had to demand it after The Rock nearly took it all away. After winning the Men's Royal Rumble match for the second straight year, Cody was set to challenge Reigns at the main event at Mania, only for The Rock to insert himself, requesting Cody hand his title match to him to determine the true head of the table. Fans hated it, thinking it was unfair for the Royal Rumble winner to simply give what he won in that match to The Rock, who wasn't even in the Rumble. WWE saw the writing on the wall and changed course, with Cody demanding his match with Reigns at a February press conference in Las Vegas. That established the main events of both nights of WrestleMania, a tag match between The Rock and Roman and Cody and Seth Rollins on night 1, then Roman and Cody's title match on night 2. Just before Mania, Cody made his feelings about the final boss known in an interview on the MMA Hour.
I don't have to like him, and I really genuinely don't like The Rock.
But Cody did add that he respects what Johnson has done for the business, as well as opening the doors to wrestlers who want to pursue acting. Even since WrestleMania 40, the American Nightmare has continued to poke the bear with The Rock, stating that the final boss is obsessed with him, and that if Johnson ends up going into politics, Rhodes may follow. But is it real animosity or just storyline? Well, it's wrestling, so we may never know for sure. If you thought it was just Cody Rhodes that didn't like The Rock by the time the bell rang on night 1 of WrestleMania 40, you'd be wrong. Then World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins was recovering from a knee injury when The Rock inserted himself into the Mania plan. When Mail Sport asked about what had been going on in his absence, Rollins explained that WWE was just fine without The Rock, calling him an afterthought, adding, "He's going to run his mouth, he's going to say the same crap he's been saying for the last 2 decades because he can't come up with any new material." The Rock had also just become a member of the board of directors of WWE's parent company, TKO. Seeing him throw his weight around both on screen and off was something that Rollins called gross. However, Rollins did have some nice things to say about the People's Champion once he knew that he would be working with him at WrestleMania 40, calling him an incredible physical specimen and saying that he is someone who should never be overlooked considering what he has done in his career. Since returning to WWE in 2023, CM Punk seems to have mellowed out a bit. Compare his demeanor now to how he was after WrestleMania 27 in 2011, for example. That WrestleMania quite frankly left a lot to be desired in terms of match quality, but also turned out to be one of the most successful pay-per-views in wrestling history, thanks in large part due to the wrestling return of The Rock, who hosted the show. The Rock being in WWE for the first time since 2004 was enough to bring in over 1 million buys. Punk, who wrestled Randy Orton on the show, contended that The Rock was not the only reason for the success of WrestleMania 27, and insinuated that Johnson was not part of the team, telling the New York Daily News, "You know, the thing about that is he's not around. He's not around. It doesn't help morale when the guy goes right from his limo to the dressing room to the dressing room to the ring. He's very bourgeois Hollywood." Punk referenced The Rock in his infamous pipe bomb promo later that June, too. And to almost prove Punk's point, The Rock ended Punk's 434-day title reign in 2013, just before that year's WrestleMania, so The Rock's match with John Cena could be a title match. Well before he faced off with The Rock in back-to-back WrestleMania main events, John Cena was already taking shots at the Great One. In 2008, Cena told The Sun he was frustrated that The Rock had claimed that he loved wrestling, but only made sporadic appearances after he properly left the company in 2004. Cena did not hold back, saying, "Don't me around and tell me that you love this when you are just doing this to do something else." In 2012, during the build to their showdown at WrestleMania 28, Cena famously called out The Rock for writing parts of his promo on his wrist, something that visibly angered Johnson. Over a decade later, Cena said he regrets doing that without warning.
Professional would have been like, "Hey, before you go out there, if you do go out there like that, I'm going to use it."
It seems that Cena's own move to Hollywood has given him a better understanding of The Rock's position at the time. The Rock's last match as a full-timer in WWE was a 3-on-2 handicap match at WrestleMania 20. He and Mick Foley reunited as the Rock and Sock Connection to face Evolution's Ric Flair, Batista, and 23-year-old Randy Orton. By the time The Rock returned in 2011, Orton was already a 7-time world champion, eclipsing The Rock's personal record of 5 world title reigns. Now a major star, Orton wasn't too thrilled about potentially having to share TV time with a part-timer. In a radio interview shortly after The Rock's return, Orton buried the People's Champion as deep as he could. Orton claimed that The Rock used both writers and teleprompters in the arena to put together and perform his promos. Orton said he believed that John Cena outclassed The Rock on every level and that The Rock had lied to the fans about his intention not to leave WWE again. According to Orton, The Rock called then WWE head Vince McMahon personally to complain about Orton's comments, which also angered McMahon. Orton and The Rock would reportedly squash their beef by the end of the year, but have never crossed paths in the ring since. After the Rocky Sucks chants started to die down and the then Rocky Maivia star began to rise a bit in 1997, he apparently started to get a little cocky backstage. Ahmed Johnson, no relation, claimed in a shoot interview that he got into a legitimate fight with the Great One. The Rock supposedly wanted to get all of his high spots into their match, but wasn't willing to take any of Ahmed's.
But it was basically, him not wanting to take my finish, me not wanting to take his finish. It was kind of a back and forth argument from there.
This led to a brief altercation where a few blows were thrown by each man. However, Bruce Pritchard recalled the brawl starting a different way, saying Ahmed was the one running his mouth instead of The Rock. Either way, the fight definitely happened. Ahmed said he believed that The Rock never liked him because he was using his real last name, while The Rock had to use the name Maivia after his grandfather High Chief Peter Maivia. To this day, neither Ahmed nor The Rock has ever clarified where the real roots of their issues lie. After Stone Cold Steve Austin broke his neck at SummerSlam 1997, the then WWF was in need of some new rising stars to build the next few months of shows around. The two men who ended up being pushed into that position were Rocky Maivia and Hunter Hearst Helmsley. From there, the real-life rivalry between The Rock and Triple H was born. Both men wanted to be the top guy, but there can only be one of those. So they sabotaged, backstabbed, and trash-talked each other to no end. Bret the Hitman Hart remembers Triple H trying to sabotage The Rock's initial push. Bruce Pritchard believed the jealousy between the two festered into their promos and ultimately led to both men going off script. Ric Flair still believes that there is bad blood between the two men to this day. The two addressed their long-standing animosity in a special episode of WWE Rivals in February 2024. Both admitted to having a real-life hatred for one another as a result of competitiveness and jealousy. Triple H has mentioned many times that he didn't get along with The Rock from the moment the Cerebral Assassins team lost to the Great Ones in Maivia's at Survivor Series 1996. He also noted that the two are now friends, with the current WWE CCO admitting that he would have loved to have main-evented WrestleMania with The Rock when they had the chance in 2000. The Rock is often regarded as the greatest trash talker in the history of WWE. His Attitude Era promos were so impactful that they killed Billy Gunn and Al Snow's pushes in 1999, and The Big Show's very legitimate argument that he should have won the 2000 Royal Rumble. But not everyone was going to sit there and take it. In 2002, the NWO came from the shuttered WCW to WWE, injecting it with a lethal dose of poison. Hollywood Hogan, Scott Hall, and Kevin Nash all returned to the company, and given that they were the biggest attraction in WCW, it was only right that they started feuding with The Rock. After Hogan faced The Rock at WrestleMania 18, leading to an unexpected babyface turn for the Hulkster, Nash became The Rock's new rival. The Rock reportedly went off script and called Nash Big Daddy, a comment Nash felt hurt his character. When they eventually met in the ring, Nash was a little more stiff with The Rock than usual. The two men would cross paths multiple more times, with Nash again taking liberties with the People's Champion. It caused a rift that lasted for years.
But he was just with me, and then I was just in turn just became a.
Fortunately, the two have buried the hatchet, with Nash even apologizing to The Rock on social media. There are multiple reasons why Shawn Michaels and The Rock never really got along, and it first stemmed from a rumored incident that occurred back when Dwayne Johnson was a teenager. Michaels had reportedly been disrespectful to The Rock's grandmother while working a show in Hawaii, leading to a young Rock to become furious and try to confront Michaels. Nothing came of it, but years later, when The Rock debuted in WWE, Michaels was one of the company's top stars. Michaels is said to have done everything he could to rattle the young star. In 1999, The Rock confronted Michaels about kicking him too hard in the face. That led to Michaels telling The Rock that if he couldn't handle it, he shouldn't be in the business. This led to a reported scuffle between the two that had to be broken up. Both men ended up being cordial with each other, but The Rock repeatedly expressed his lack of desire to talk about the Heartbreak Kid. Johnson even said in a 2005 interview with WWE.com that he had no interest in ever getting in the ring with Michaels, despite the fact that Michaels had turned his personal life around by that point. A match between the two was pitched for WrestleMania in 2006, but according to Michaels, The Rock simply wasn't interested. HBK faced Vince McMahon in a no-holds-barred match instead.